Hi, wanted to share a few key statements with you that are pretty foundational for me in my ministry and in my life. As you can tell, I have a new person here with me. Not a new person to me, but new to you. This is Bugga. Bug, we call him. This is my dog, and he goes with me to a lot of different places, but let's get to the key statements. One of one of the many that I have found since becoming a pastor is be the pastor that God calls you to be, not the pastor that people want you to be. And I think that's also a key phrase for many of us if you want to use it in be the person that God calls you to be, not the person that people want you to be. Because one thing I found is that when you encounter people, you come in any kind of a leadership role, they want you to conform to what they're comfortable with and to find ways to oppose you if you don't agree with them. And unfortunately, God leads, not unfortunately, what am I saying? Fortunately, God makes us each a unique creation, and He calls us with different gifts and different skills. And I think it's important that we live into that, what it is in our lives. The next statement is one you've heard before if you've listened to the other videos. You'll never meet a person that Jesus did not die for. This came to me, like I said, about 4 years ago. Originally, it said, um, you'll never meet a person that Christ did not die for, but I've changed that to Jesus, and I'll share that with you in later videos why that's important, not to use the word Christ in that one, but Jesus. It's based on a recent book I've read um, with some understandings, and I'll share that with you later. I think God spoke to me and spoke to a lot of people through a friend of mine by the name of Amy Kaler recently. Amy made this statement. I'm not worried about where you've been. I'm worried about where you're going. And I think that that's pretty critical for all of us as Christians or as people to not get caught up in where people have been. We get caught up in that prejudgment thing, but understand we want to share with them a gift from God through His Son Jesus Christ, and we need to be able to let that stuff go as Jesus would, and worry about where they're going and have those conversations about how God created them. This last summer, I attended a conference with a pastor by the name of Rudy Rasmus. He's out of Houston, doing an incredible ministry down there. And he gave this statement, and I love it for Christians. It says, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. What a beautiful statement for us to be able to live out in our life, that we love all people, and there's nothing they can do about it, no matter how much they accuse us, no matter if they call us a heretic or a non-believer or whatever, but to just love people. My father, who was very inspirational in my life, Chuck Shoemaker, um, he said, kill them with kindness. And that's something that's always stuck with me, that no matter how people treat you, just be kind and be the person Jesus would be, and be the person that you're called through Christ to be to others. Um, There's another statement that I learned very early, probably back in 1999 or so. I was going through some training that would eventually lead to me accepting my call into pastoral ministry. And the statement, I don't remember the lady's name. She was a wonderful pastor in the Methodist denomination, but she used this definition of what a pastor is, and that is comfort the challenged and challenge the comfortable. And that has certainly been a foundational statement for me, and maybe that's part of the result of this channel is challenging people who are comfortable. I think we've become way, way too comfortable in the Christian church with the way we do things, and we forget about Jesus calls us to be uncomfortable and to be uncomfortable in this world we live in. Another key statement for me is you can't follow Jesus if you're standing still. He doesn't call us to just hang out. He doesn't call us to get to a certain rung on that ladder and then we've earned our way to heaven and we're all done. He calls us to respond to that love that He offers to all people. And we are the vessels. We are the earthen vessels that He occupies and uses to share His love with the world and share His message. One, to offer salvation and give people that mercy and grace that He offers to all so that they may join Him in the eternal afterlife, but to also empower us to be emboldened to be who He created us to be in this world so that we can share His love, share His mercy and grace with all the people we meet. So a few more key statements will come in time, but for now, that's a good starter. So again, thanks for being with us. Bug and I are signing off. God's peace be with you. Peace out.